Over and above establishing industrial and craft complexes and providing job opportunities, plus it also upholds social objectives, assisting human development procedures, including human empowerment, as they target families, children, women, people of determination, and the elderly, along with awareness initiatives.
في قطاع غزة. الموقف المصري كما هو واضح منذ البداية يرتكز على مجموعة من المؤشرات ومجموعة من المرتكزات أبرزها وأظهرها في كل كلماته وخطبه وأيضا اتصالاته بكل مسؤولين في العالم الرئيس عبد الفتاح السيسي، الذي أكد على عديد من الثوابت. الثابت الأول أن ما يجري في قطاع غزة الآن هو عدوان لا تقبله مصر ولا تقبله الشريعة الدولية ولا القانون الدولي ولا القانون الدولي الإنساني، وأنه يتجاوز في كل الأحوال كل ما يسمى عن حق الدفاع الشرعي عن النفس. حق الدفاع عن النفس لا يمكن أن يمتد إلى المدنيين الأبرياء. لدينا حتى الآن أكثر من 8300 شهيد، ولدينا أكثر من 21,000 مصاب. لدينا 45% من مساكن قطاع غزة إما تهدمت كليا أو تضررت جزئيا. لدينا قرابة 1,400,000 مواطن مدني نزح من مكانه تحت تهديد الاحتلال الإسرائيلي. مصر أيضا تؤكد على رفضها القاطع وانحيازها التام للقانون الدولي الإنساني، وبخاصة معاهدة جنيف الرابعة التي تحظر أي تهديد أو أي نقل أو أي تهجير أو ترحيل بالقوة.
State Information Service holds a press conference in northern Sinai where a strong infrastructure has been laid down. Egypt is confirming that it doesn't accept the displacement of any Palestinian to the Egyptian lands, especially the plans that were reported to displace Palestinians to Egypt. Egypt has full supremacy on its lands. We don't accept to liquidate the Palestinian cause by displacing them. The Palestinian people themselves do not want to move from their lands as they were displaced before in 1948, and they will not accept any more displacements, and that they prefer to die in their lands. The Palestinian people will not leave Gaza. The Palestinian people will go back to the lands they left before. They will not accept to come to Sinai. Palestinian peoples will not change their homeland with another country. The Prime Minister said that Egypt is always ready to exert all its efforts to defend this land. The Egyptian people and the Egyptian country stress on all these meanings. Egypt calls for an immediate ceasefire to save the innocent people and civilians. And to stop claims by Israelis that there are terrorists and militants inside Gaza.
كما هو مقرر حق الدفاع الشرعي عن النفس. الأمران مقران والمقاومة من حق الشعوب جميعا. وكما قلنا
Fighting is one of the rights of all people.
في العالم مقاومة أو حركة تحرر وطني هزمت. كل المستعمرون هزموا.
All colonists were taken out of the countries. They were defeated. Always fighters succeed in getting colonists out of their lands. Egypt calls for an immediate ceasefire and to open all the doors for humanitarian aids for Palestinian peoples. We have to open all channels of humanitarian aid, and the international community should help us to do this. All international organizations and the UN, human rights, international institutions, the WHO, and other institutions, NGOs. All these institutions should collaborate together to save Palestinians. Media personnel are not allowed to get into Gaza. The occupation army will attack you if you go to Gaza. The UN Secretary General arrived to this point, but he didn't cross it to the Palestinian land. Why? Because Israeli occupation forces stop them and forbid them. Egypt calls for ceasefire and negotiation should start on all international law. There is no other solution but two-state solutions. The two-state solution is not invented by Arab countries, but the UN General Assembly the UN General Assembly gave them the right for two-state solution. The two-state solution is the only solution adopted by Egypt, and in Cairo Peace Conference all parties agreed on this solution. Even the United States announced that it adopts this solution. The question is, when will we start negotiations for two-state solution? There is no negotiation under ground invasion. Therefore, we call for ceasefire, then start negotiations. And we can call for a second Cairo Peace Conference to tackle this issue. Till now, many humanitarian trucks pass through this crossing. Till now, 250 trucks passed through Rafah crossing. We need 500 trucks every day to help people in Gaza. We call again for international community to start sending humanitarian aid to all Palestinians after half hospitals are closed. They don't have water or medication. We call for the international community to take this responsibility on its shoulder. This is the Egyptian vision confirmed by the President, the armed forces, the Prime Minister, the Egyptian people. we have some questions until the Prime Minister arrives, as he is expected to meet you and tackle some issues with you. I want to know if you have any numbers about the trucks that crossed the border today, especially that Egypt announced that it decided to send many trucks this week. There is news about there is strict inspections by the Israeli sides. The total number is 250 trucks. As you know, these trucks pass by to Al-Auga crossing in Gaza. These trucks are inspected so slowly by the Israeli side until in order to waste more time, then they allow the trucks to pass. The Egyptian side is ready to get in thousands of trucks every day, but the problem that the Israeli side is insisting on inspecting every truck that passes through Al-Auga border crossing, and then after spending more time to inspect the trucks, they allowed to get in. Gaza is an occupied area by international law, and according to the International Court, it is an occupied area. The Israeli occupation forces do not choose only its force to kill civilians, but also choose the Israeli army use force to attack these trucks. We need international protection and international law that does not limit the entrance of trucks. Israeli occupation is postponing the trucks and is not allowing fuel to enter the Gaza Strip.
Hello, assalamu alaikum, sir. Yes, my question is, sir, you have any update that different types of nationalities is stacked for another side and they can pass over Egypt? So you have still any plan how and when, or you have any, can Egypt can create any facility to pass this different citizens rather than Palestinians? Thank you, sir.
أشكر حضرتك. هذا السؤال إجابته واضحة للغاية.
This question is so simple. This crossing is always opened for all Palestinians who have the reasons to come to Egypt, whether to study or for treatment or to visit their parents or family, or for any interests they have in Egypt. This border crossing works for individual Palestinians this way. This border crossing is always opened, and it was opened before for all injured and for patients. The health minister, who is also here, came before to northern Sinai, and he inspected many of the health institutions, and they are ready to receive patients if the Israeli occupation forces allow them to get in. Foreigners or expats who are in Gaza are allowed to come to Egypt, but that was related to all the time by allowing humanitarian aid to get in first. all the expats came on the Palestinian sides, but the occupation forces bombarded them, bombarded all the area around them to stop them. Humanitarian aid and trucks the other occupation is trying to stop them to get in. You can ask all embassies. They ask their people to stay away from Rafah. Rafah is ready to open its borders for all those who have dual nationality to get in. All people deserve to help them. All those who have dual nationality have the right to get in Egypt, but also 2 million Palestinians there who are away, few meters away from us, have the right to live, have the right to treat their injuries, have the right to come and study in Egypt. The occupation is preventing not only those, but also employees, Palestinian employees who are supervising on individual cross borders. They can't work. These are the reasons, but Egypt showed its readiness to receive all those people. This scene shows Egypt's support to Egypt. We can see many Egyptian volunteers here. Some are questioning why Egypt cannot open the border, disregarding what will happen. What prevents this? There are hundreds of Palestinians in Rafah and Arish, and that northern Sinai will try to help them. The first thing is that crossing this border crossing is only under the supervision of the occupation forces. All
هل يستطيع أي ممن يريد أن يقدم المساعدات أن يأمن على نفسه من احتلال منع حتى الأمين العام للأمم المتحدة.
Even the UN Secretary General could not pass. This question is a chance to call international, all top officials who are keen to save people to come and to pass this crossing and to take with them all the humanitarian aid in Al Arish airport. Let them come. All, on the other hand, all these volunteers who are staying beside these trucks, no one of them can guarantee their safety from the occupation forces. The occupation forces are killing all people. All Palestinians and people in Egypt are welcomed without talking about any collective measures. I confirm to you that there is a big number of Egyptians on the other side of the cross border,
مصرية
of
فلسطينية
Rafah cross border.
لديهم العائلات المصرية التي تعتبر نفسها عائلات فلسطينية. الدولة المصرية في الحدود العلمي لم تتخذ أي إجراءات
The
لأي إسكان أو أي إيواء جماعي للإخوة الفلسطينيين داخل حدود جمهورية مصر العربية، وهو بالمناسبة لم يحدث قط منذ النكبة. لم تخصص مصر أبدا.
Egypt does not specialize any
ولم يأتي الإخوة
place
الفلسطينيين
for Palestinians
كنازحين أو كلاجئين.
to stay in them.
ما لم يحدث في التاريخ لن يحدث الآن.
What did not happen throughout history will not happen now.
دكتور ضياء، مساء الخير. ماير مختار من وكالة الأنباء الروسية. طيب يا فندم، احنا بنتكلم يا فندم عن الرسالة اللي عايزة
The message we want to talk about the Egyptian support to Palestinian people in all means. It is trying to knock all the doors. This is one of the doors, which is foreign press is here now. Will this affect? We see Rahma Zain, who was talking with the BBC reporter. We saw many things. Nothing happened after all this. Do you think that the Western media can impact this issue?
بشكل او باخر في بيانات الخارجيه المصريه مؤخرا مصر لديها لغه حاده بخصوص تعنت الجانب الاسرائيلي لادخال الشاحنات الاغاثيه، فهل ذلك سيؤثر على العلاقه التفاوضيه بين مصر واسرائيل؟
أشكرك. السؤال الأول، زملائي من الإعلام الغربي
My colleagues in the Western countries,
وهذا الإعلام
this media people here,
ليس فقط إعلام مهني ولكنه
they are
إعلام ذو ضمير.
these people have conscious,
من تأثر
especially
رئيسية في العواصم الغربية. بكثير
those people who are here have conscious and they are not impacted by allegations from Israeli sides.
هذا الإعلام راح يطور
This
من الصورة التي يظهر بها ما يحدث في غزة عبر الأيام الماضية. الأسبوع الأول مختلف عن الأسابيع التالية.
the first week is different from the other weeks and the last week is different from the weeks before. There are pictures that is so shocking to people.
أن ملايين الأحرار الذين خرجوا في كل عواصم الغرب
All
قد خرجوا بدون أن يروا شيئا في الإعلام. لقد رأوا
people, mass protests around the globe
جعلهم يخافون على مصير
are supporting Palestinian rights without even seeing what's taking place in the media.
وهو ممنوع كمان من دخول غزة. سلطة الاحتلال تمنع كل
The occupation forces is preventing all media people from getting into Gaza.
انذارا كما قالت وكالة رويترز إلى والوكالة الفرنسية بأنها غير مسؤولة عن مندوبين. وبالتالي أنا أقول إنه الإعلام الغربي يشعر
The Western media
بعضه متمركز في إسرائيل
are
وبعضه متمركز
feel
في مصر
that
وبعضه متمركز في لبنان أو في دول الجوار. هو يستطيع أن يرى الحقيقة.
the Western media can see the truth.
مازن إلى طرف.
We don't them to be biased. We want them to be biased to the international legitimacy and to human rights and to what they see.
عن النفس
If this is the right to self-defense,
حق الدفاع عن النفس 3000
to kill
الطفل
3,500 child,
أين سينتهي حق الدفاع عن النفس؟
when will they stop the right for self-defense? These killings, these collective killings for women,
إلى أكثر من 2000 سيدة
2,000
حق الدفاع عن
women
النفس
is considered a right for self-defense. This is not
والكنائس دفاعية شرعية.
the right for self-defense.
عندما يأتي مسؤولون في الدولة العبرية ويضربون مثلا بخطأ تم في الحرب العالمية الثانية من قبل القوات البريطانية، نذكرهم بأنه خطأ وحيد وقد تم الاعتذار عنه في حينها من القوات البريطانية. لكن القتل اليومي الذي
The daily killings that is taking place in Palestinian lands
الإعلام الغربي كله والإعلام الشرقي
is not
طالما هو إعلام يعبر عن مهنة وعن ضمير أنا أثق فيما يكتب، وإذا لم يكتشف كل الحقيقة اليوم سيكتشف أغلبها في الغد إن شاء الله. سؤال حضرتك الثاني كان العلاقات المصرية الإسرائيلية.
The Israeli-Egyptian relations is something announced by the President since 1979 and since 1977 when late President Anwar Sadat visited Al-Quds and the peace process took place and Camp David. Since then, Egypt is respecting all its agreements. This respect to its agreements does not prevent Egypt from taking its stance regarding the Israeli invasion and aggression. She did that when Israel invaded Lebanon, and before. Peace does not mean that Egypt is supporting this aggression. President Sisi Egypt entered many wars from this side. All wars since 1948 was from this side, and it was related to the Palestinian issue. Egypt respects peace, but does not mean that it means that it wants the international legitimacy and peace to prevail. It wants peace that depends on just peace. Egypt wants just peace. If Israel wants that, Egypt will adopt comprehensive peace based on two-state solution. Without this, if there is any aggression, Egypt is against it. If there is injustice for Palestinian people, Egypt will stand with Palestinians. Egypt respected all its agreements with Israel, and it respected all its agreements. مش هينفع كده والله. We can see all efforts exerted by Egypt to let humanitarian aid get into Gaza Strip. Is there any way that we can confirm that these humanitarian aid arrive safely to Palestinians? How can we guarantee that these aid reliefs arrive safely to Palestinians? Because we are all waiting here to make sure that these humanitarian aid arrive. The UNRWA is responsible for this. We trust this organization because it gives the Palestinian people for 75 years all what they need. It lost many martyrs in this aggression. All its headquarters, in its headquarters there are many Palestinians. 12,000 Palestinians live in one of its schools. They are trying to help Palestinian people.
وضعتها المنظمة الدولية لتوزيعها. لديهم قواعد بيانات دقيقة ولديهم عاملون على الأرض يعرفون أين تذهب المساعدات، ونحن نتمنى
We
أن
hope
يزيد حجم المساعدات
the
يستطيع الوفاء
the humanitarian aid will increase to be enough for all Palestinians.
Hi, Alex Wilson, Sky News UK. You say that Israel is stopping the opening of the border, and we've seen all the trucks waiting with the aid, waiting to go in. Can you explain how they are stopping it when it is your border and your border control for the outside world? And secondly, the British Home Secretary, one of the most senior ministers in the British government, has called the pro-Palestinian marches in London hate marches, and she's moving to try and stop them. I wondered what you would say to her and what you think about that. And just finally, are you calling for a pause in the bombardment or an opening of the gate, or what are you saying to Israel and the rest of the world?
شكرا جزيلا أليكس. أنا إجابتي عن السؤال الأول I'll say it in English, but when I record for you, but for the people I speak in Arabic. أنا بقول لحضرتك السؤال الأول.
The first question,
لماذا
why
المراسلين الأجانب
reporters can't cross the border? I'm telling you, come in, and you can come in and take the responsibility of your life.
إذا كنت تتحمل مسؤولية حياتك، ورقة صغيرة منك لي كمسؤول عن هيئة السلامات، أتحمل أنا مسؤولية حياتي على الجانب الآخر. نحن حريصين لأننا نحن حريصون على حقوق الإنسان.
We are keen on to save human
لا
rights.
نستطيع أن نغامر بكم. وأنا ذكرت أن الأمين العام للأمم المتحدة لم يطأ قدم.
The UN Secretary General did not cross the borders.
غربي واحد
No top official from Western countries
شبرا من أرض غزة يذهبون إلى
cross the border.
القدس.
They only go to Tel Aviv or Quds or Ramallah.
حياة المسؤولين الدوليين أنفسهم.
The life of top officials
السلطات المصرية
are not safe
كهيئة مصرية
there.
للإعلانات مسؤولون عن وجود حضراتكم وعن أمنكم وعن حياتكم. لا نستطيع أن نضحي بكم.
We can't sacrifice
حتى زملائكم.
you.
وأنا أسأل حضرتك، هل سكاي لها مراسل في غزة الآن؟
Is Sky
الإسرائيلي؟
having reporter in
Any
Gaza?
correspondent of Sky in Gaza from the Israeli side? Inside. There is anyone from Sky? I didn't see anyone. All the time from the Israeli borders. إذن هو لديه حماية هناك. حضرتك ممكن تروحي
So
من حيث
he
دخل.
is under protection there.
حيث دخل.
You can also go
لك الدخول من ناحيته، لكن نحن لا
the same way,
بعد كل ما حدث للفلسطينيين ويحدث الآن لهذا
but we
التعامل
can't guarantee your safety.
أن نأمن على دخول صحفيين أجانب. وهذه
We can guarantee the safety of the correspondence.
القضية الأساسية الآن هي دخول هذه المساعدات.
The main issue now
الإعلام الغربي
is letting these humanitarian trucks
الذي كان يصل إليه يوميا
pass and enter Gaza Strip.
زمن الحصار حتى يكفوا الحد الأدنى من احتياجات سكانه. كل ما دخلوا في خلال 25 يوم من القصف 250 شحنة.
250 trucks only passed in 25 days.
دخول الصحفيين
The most important now is
نحن نريد من الإعلام البريطاني
to let the trucks in.
أن يساعدنا.
We want the Western media to help us to let these trucks in.
وجودكم نحن
But your presence
حياتكم أكثر
is not more, but we can guarantee your safety if you cross the borders.
Sorry, I think you misunderstood me. I wasn't talking about reporters, although I would like to go over. I was talking about why the aid wasn't going over.
I explain again. هذا الجانب
This Israeli, this side
تفتش هي دولة الاحتلال. ما خلف هذا السور يخضع لدولة الاحتلال.
what is behind this wall is under the supervision of Israeli occupation forces. They kill civilians.
وتمنع
and prevent the entrance of aid trucks. They can bombard these trucks.
وقد قصفت
It already did.
الطرق
It already bombarded the roads where the trucks
فنحن لا
move.
نستطيع
We can't
مساعدات
let
بطريقة
these trucks in.
مساعدات انتحارية. توجد مسيرات انتحارية نعم، ويوجد بعض الأشخاص الانتحاريين، لكن لا يوجد مساعدات انتحارية.
There is no suicidal aids. If we push all these trucks to the other side, who can guarantee the safety of these trucks? The Israeli side killed 9,000 till now. How can we guarantee the safety of these trucks? We need a resolution from the Security Council, international safety, to guarantee the safety of the aid.
دينا عصمت قناة DMC. حضرتك أشرت يا دكتور ضياء
You pointed to
مؤتمر أو قمة
another round of Cairo summit. Is there any preparation? Are there any preparations for this summit?
الذي سيقدمه من حيث الحضور والمطروح فيه. شكرا.
What is new in what is expected to take place in this summit?
عقدت في ظل القصف وفي ظل العدوان
I said that the first one was held
هو
before,
أضواء
and its main aim was to shed light on what is taking place, on the truth.
يتفق على مبادئ على الأقل، وكانت المبادئ واضحة. أولها أن المساعدات الإنسانية لابد أن تصل.
And its principles were the importance of letting the aid trucks in.
وبصوت خافت الهدنة الإنسانية.
And
بالأمس نسمع
humanitarian truce.
القاهرة يتردد في واشنطن وفي لندن وفي
Now we hear what was said in this summit in London and in Washington. They are talking about the same things again.
لابد من قيام الدولة الفلسطينية. الأمر الثالث أن الجميع اتفقوا على عدم توسيع نطاق الصراع في المنطقة. كل حاضري القمة اتفقوا على هذا. هذه قواعد كان مهم إبرازها وقت إطلاق النار. إذا ما توقف إطلاق النار
If ceasefire take place and this catastrophe end,
تجري في غزة، فأعتقد أن
I think
قمة القاهرة
that the second Cairo summit will take place, and it will discuss a final solution by the attendance of all parties on how can we reach a two-state solution.
إيمان الحويزي القاهرة الإخبارية. مجموعة من الرسائل
You said that there are many messages sent from this point, whether from Egyptian governments, Egyptian officials, or international officials. There is a difference in the way international media is tackling this issue. How can we help in delivering these messages to the other side?
كل الواقفون هنا زملائي، وتشرفت بثلاث مرات أن أكون نقيبا للصحفيين المصريين، وبالتالي أنا أخاطب زملائي.
I now talk to all my colleagues in the West or non-Western. They all have a conscience. They have conscience who doesn't agree to all what is taking place.
أن يكونوا في مواقعهم التي هم هنا وفي جرائدهم التي يمثلونها. ربما كان هناك في بداية هذه الأزمة كما قلت هيمنة بوجهة النظر الإسرائيلية.
At the beginning of this catastrophe, there was some propaganda by the Israeli side, but now the truth is prevailing. There is a change in the Western media. It is not adopting a certain point of view, but undoubtedly, what is taking place in Gaza is pushing them to show the truth.
Claire Parker from the Washington Post. I have two questions. The first, so U.S. officials have said this week that it is Hamas that is preventing foreign nationals from leaving, as well as other categories of people who are eligible to leave Gaza. And they say that they have certain demands that they want met before the Palestinians will open that side of the crossing so that people can come through. Have you heard anything about these demands? What is your response to that? Because the narrative that you just made is quite different. And then the second question is on Egypt's readiness to take in wounded for treatment. I'm wondering how many the preparations to take in injured people. How many injured Palestinians could you take in? And what would happen? Would they then go back afterward? How would that work?
أبدأ بالسؤال الثاني.
I will start with the second question.
لم نكن نحن ولا نعرف
We don't know
دقة عدد الجرحى.
exactly the number of Palestinian injured.
هو منظمة الصحة العالمية
WHO knows, and the Red Crescent
وزارة الصحة الفلسطينية.
and the Palestinian Health Ministry.
حتى الآن من الجانب الفلسطيني وحتى الأمس
Till now, 21,000 injured.
لديه إمكانيات
The Egyptian side has the capability to receive some injured people,
تفقد كل المنشآت الصحية.
and the health minister inspected all institutions, all health institutions, and they are ready to
هذه مسألة
receive any injured Palestinian.
خاص بالأجانب. الأجانب الموجودين سواء
As for
الدبل ناشوناليتيز
those who have double nationalities,
حماس الحقيقة أنا لست متحدثا باسم حماس
the truth is I'm not spokesperson for Hamas
المقاومة
or the resistance. But what I read as a journalist,
ولك أن تسألي السفارة الأمريكية
and you can ask the American embassy in Egypt
وصلوا
about
وجلسوا الناحية الثانية
US national, US people who came and stayed here for many days.
سيعملون ضمن اتفاق شامل
They,
يضمن دخول المساعدات بلا سقف ومرورهم إلى هنا واسألي
you can ask them
عما حدث لهم
about what happened to them
عندما قصفت
when they were sitting there as Israel bombarded the roads when they came.
ولا حماس أن يذهبوا بعيدا عنه. أنا طولت على حضراتكم بشكركم شكرا جزيلا وبشكر في مكان الآن سيكون معكم دولة رئيس الوزراء الدكتور مصطفى
Now, Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouly will come and talk to you after a while.
اتفضل 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 الوزراء. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of God,
اسمحوا لي طبعا في
let
البداية
me at first welcome all of you
وانتم موجودين معانا النهارده في
You
هذه
are-
الجولة الهامة داخل محافظة شمال سيناء.
as you are all attending this important tour with us in northern Sinai and in front of Rafah cross-border.
اسمحوا لي يمكن
Let me
اتعرض الاول
talk
لشيء
first
مهم جدا
about an important
وهو
thing,
ثوابت في
as
السياسة المصرية.
we have an important points in Egyptian policy. We are against killing civilians.
ضد سقوط اي ضحايا من المدنيين الابرياء من اي جانب.
From any side,
تماماً بكل ما يعني
this is a
ينص عليه القوانين الدولية.
commitment to international law.
بالتالي الحقيقة مع
So,
هذه الأزمة
in this crisis,
المسبوقة
in this unprecedented crisis in Gaza Strip,
احنا بندعو
we call
دول العالم إن
all world countries
المنظور يبقى منظور عادل.
to look at this crisis in a just way
سقوط الضحايا
that condemn the killing of civilians in all sides.
لا يوجد ميزة لجانب أو أفضلية لجانب عن الجانب.
No one is better than the other. They are all equal,
ضحايا
and we are
أبرياء.
against the killing of any civilians.
سياسة العقاب الجماعي
We are against collective punishment.
المدنيين
We are against the collective punishment of Gaza inhabitants.
على كل المستويات.
Egypt is working on all sides
القيادة السياسية السيد الرئيس عبد الفتاح السيسي وكل
as
أجهزة الدولة بتشتغل على كيف نحلل
we
ونحل
are
هذه
all
الأزمة
working on how can we solve this unprecedented humanitarian crisis.
بيتعرض لها النهارده سكان القطاع الابرياء من حجم دمار كبير وحجم ضحايا كبيره، واحنا زي ما بنقول احنا هدفنا كله ان نتعامل مع الازمه الانسانيه.
Our main target is to deal with the humanitarian crisis. I'd like to thank
قيادات
all leaders
المدني
of
سواء
and
في مصر
of
أو خارج مصر
the NGOs in Egypt and outside Egypt,
اول لحظه حريصه
and
ان
all
مساعدات لاهالينا
governments who are keen to help people in Gaza on the local level. We have many NGOs, the Red Crescent, حياة كريمة, أبناء سيناء,
تشارك وبتقدم قوافل كبيره جدا
all those
ان احنا نساعد
provide us with trucks, humanitarian trucks, to solve the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Also, many countries and international institutions participate in the same subject. We are all keen to thank them
المساعدات
for their help.
انا فقط بوجه الشكر ليهم كلهم لان الحقيقه انا عارف ان هم بايتين هنا على مدار ال 24 ساعه.
I know they are staying here for 24 hours, especially the volunteers.
القطاع المدني والسواء ده الوطني او الدولي علشان هدفهم حاجه واحده تدخل هذه المساعدات.
They all want this aid to enter to people in Gaza.
اشتغلوا ليل ونهار علشان يعملوا
I'd like to thank all officials in the government who work all day and night to help Palestinians. This humanitarian crisis should stop.
بتحصل كل يوم والخسائر البشريه الهائله.
All civilian casualties should stop.
وخلينا نتكلم بمنتهى الامانه.
Let's talk
هذه القضيه
frankly about this. This problem will not be solved
الا بالحل الدائم
unless
كله اقر بيه.
unless
الدولتين
there is a two-state solution.
ولن يكون هناك استقرار في هذه المنطقه
There will be no stability unless the whole world adopt this solution,
لدول العالم.
which is adopted also by the UN Security Council.
من اول يوم تبنيناها وقلنا
This is the message that we adopt here in Egypt.
الحدث وعظم الضحايا الابرياء المدنيين، لكن يظل ان الحل الدائم لهذه الازمه اللي هتظل موجوده في المنطقه هو هذا الحل
The only solution
اللي
is
مر بيه العالم قبل كده.
the two-state solution.
عشان كده مره اخرى
Will remain the only
منبر احنا كدوله
solution for this crisis.
حريصين كل الحرص
As a government, we are keen to call the whole world to adopt this comprehensive and just solution to this crisis, to guarantee that this crisis and this catastrophe will not happen again. Egypt took the responsibility of the Palestinian crisis for many years since 1948. But this is the truth. Egypt, before 1948, was always defending the Palestinian cause, and it contributed with thousands of its youths who died on this land while they are defending this cause. And on the political and diplomatic level and economic level, we are all keen to help our brothers in Palestine. The important thing I want to confirm about that Egypt will not allow the liquidation of the Palestinian cause. This is a message to the whole world. The only solution here is the two-state solution. This is the comprehensive solution which will guarantee the peace in the whole region. Any other solution will result on instability and insecurity to all countries in the region. We were so keen on the developmental side to be here with my colleagues to announce the start of Northern Sinai Development Plan. This place suffered from terrorism 14 years, and its people. And before, our armed forces and police also suffered for many years from terrorism. Every week we used to see some of the armed forces personnel or police personnel die in Sinai. We succeeded in combating terrorism, and at the same time we were working on developing Sinai. Now, today I announce the start of the developmental plan of Sinai. We will implement full development for this area. I call all Egyptians and all political leaders to end this crisis and to stop dispute and destruction that will never bear its fruit on the short or long term. We want a just and comprehensive solution for this crisis.
مشاهدينا أهلا بحضراتكم مرة أخرى.
Yeah, welcome back, dear viewers. And that was a press conference for Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouly. He was addressing foreign correspondents and reporters on Rafah border crossing, and he talked to them about the developmental plans and the launch of the second phase of the development of Northern Sinai, where a strong infrastructure has been laid down. He also confirmed that the only solution for the Palestinian crisis is the solution that is based on two-state neighboring countries, and that Egypt is against the displacement of Palestinians. Dear viewers, short break and we'll be back.
فما يكذبك بعد بالدين أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين صدق الله العظيم.
صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسوله الكريم. نعلم تماما يعني أنه برنامج الزيارة مضغوط وسريع. سنجتهد قدر ما نستطيع أنه تكون الكلمات في حدود 3 دقائق إن شاء الله. الآن مع كلمة ترحيبية مع فضيلة الشيخ عرفات خضر.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه، وبعد. سيادة دولة رئيس الوزراء الدكتور مصطفى مدبولي، حياكم الله. الموكب الكريم، حياكم الله جميعا، جيش وجميع فروعه، وزراء، سيد المحافظ، صحفيين، نواب، لأنني لا أستطيع أن أحصر أسماءكم، لكن أنا بقولكم بلغة الجمع: حياكم الله جميعا وبياكم على أرض سيناء.
صلاة العصر.
في الحقيقة أيها الإخوة الكرام، إنه لقاء طيب مبارك إن شاء الله، حيث نجتمع اليوم هنا على أرض سيناء الطاهرة الزكية، سيناء المباركة التي باركها الله سبحانه وتعالى وقدسها، وذكرها في القرآن الكريم فقال: والتين والزيتون وطور سينين، وقال: وشجرة تخرج من طور سيناء تنبت بالدهن وصبغ للآكلين. إنها يا سادة سيناء أرض مر بها الأنبياء، ونزل بها المصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم، وصلى ركعتين ليلة الإسراء والمعراج، حينما قال له سيدنا جبريل وهو في مكان التجلي، قال له: انزل يا محمد وصل ركعتين. هنا سيناء أرض عظيمة، سيناء أرض مقدسة، وإننا في الحقيقة في أمس الحاجة إلى مثل هذه اللقاءات تجمع بين الراعي والرعية، تجمع بين الرئيس والمرؤوس. وما كان لنا أن نجتمع هذا الجمع الطيب، ما كان لنا أن نجتمع هذا الجمع المبارك، وبالذات هنا في زاوية الشيخ خلف الصوفية بالجورة، قلعة الصمود والثبات والتحدي قديما وحديثا. ما كان لنا أن نجتمع لولا فضل الله تبارك وتعالى أولا، وحفظه لبلدنا الحبيب، ثم سواعد رجال قواتنا المسلحة، رجال الجيش الباسل بجميع فروعه وأجهزته، ورجال الشرطة المدنية العفية، واتحاد شباب أبناء سيناء
and youth in Sinai, all are cooperating together through ages. They are all in one body and one hand. They all say Allahu Akbar, and long live Egypt.
وانطلقوا انطلاقة واحدة بعزيمة
They all
وإرادة وإخلاص
have
فكان الخلاص.
strong determination, and
كانوا بإخلاص فكان الخلاص.
they were so loyal.
الخلاص في كل المواقف.
That's why
كان الخلاص يوم 6 أكتوبر 73.
we were
وكان
succeeded
الخلاص الأخير من الإرهاب البغيض.
in 6th of October war, and also we combated terrorism.
السيد رئيس الوزراء.
Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouly, you came today
ومعكم وحاملين البشائر
with good news
ومفاتيح الخير
and
لأهليكم
keys
أبناء سيناء
of success to the people in Sinai.
ومعمروها بأيديهم وأسنانهم في ظلال دولتنا الرشيدة تحقيقا لدعوة نبينا المصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم حيث قال
Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, hope that we are always be causes for all good things.
الله على هذه الأرض أرض الخير والنماء. سيد الرئيس، إن أبناء سيناء
People of Sinai
على مدى التاريخ
throughout history
كلهم ولاء وانتماء
all have
لله ولدينه
affiliation to God and religion and to Egypt.
وما كانوا يوما من الأيام غير ذلك.
They were always like this.
وعلنا نذكر موقف مشايخ قبائل سيناء.
Let's remember the stance of people of Sinai before the end of the First World War, when Sharif Hussein, who asked them to cooperate with British forces and to have a separate place for them in Sinai. But they rejected. And they said, we are Egyptians and our country is Egypt. Our country is Egypt. We will never sacrifice our country. The same thing happened again in 1968. Al-Hassana Conference. Israel tried to do the same thing because they are all think the same way. They say the same as the British occupation forces, and they told us to make Sinai independent and to be under the supervision of Israel. But the people of Sinai and all tribesmen in Sinai, from Suez Canal till the borders, from the Gulf to the Mediterranean Sea, they were all in the same conference, and with the attendance of Moshe Dayan, and all media people were there. And they proposed that Sinai will be independent from Egypt. But they all rejected, and they told their leaders to talk on their behalf, and they said, we are Egyptians, and whoever wants to talk about Sinai, he should talk to leader Gamal Abdel Nasser. We will not forget in the 70s what Sheikh Khalaf did, what he did with the Israelis when they wanted to evacuate the whole land and to buy the whole land, to build settlements and Gora airport on it. Sheikh Khalaf rejected, so they imprisoned him, and at the end they saw that they will give him money to agree. But he said, but he told them, if you give me lots of money, I will never give you one sand from Sinai.
وها نحن اليوم أيها الإخوة على أثر الأجداد ومن وسط هذا الجمع المبارك على أرض سيناء باسم مشايخ وعواقل سيناء كلنا نعلنها مدوية عالية.
We announce today that we all support President. We all support President Fattah al-Sisi. We are all behind him.
كلنا وراءه دعما بحراسة الأرض وعمارة الأرض.
We support him
على الأرض.
in
المواطن في عشة دبابة تنفجر أمام كل من.
We support him in all his stances.
فنحن معه دعما ومعه تأييدا له غدا في الأيام القريبة في صناديق الاقتراع إن شاء الله.
Also we support him in the coming elections.
سننزل ونختار رئيس جمهوريتنا.
We will elect him as a president.
وتفويضا له في كل ما يهم مصر من قرارات سائلا الله عز وجل أن يجعل له من أمره رشدا.
We ask God to be always with him to save Egypt from all conspiracies.
والغطرسة إلى شاطئ الأمن والأمان والعزة والسلام. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
عرفناه قائدا لا يشق له غبار، شارك في العديد من عمليات مكافحة الإرهاب في سيناء، ونعرفه أيضا متحدثا لبقا قويا صريحا شجاعا. اللواء أركان حرب محمد ربيع،
الجنرال محمد ربيع، the leader of the Third Army.
لا يحق لي الحديث في حضور دولة معالي
I can't
رئيس الوزراء،
talk with the attendance of the Prime Minister, but if I have to, I will say what I feel. We are all one army here in Sinai. We united and we set our target. So God gave us victory.
هيعود على كل المصريين وأهل سيناء بعد نتائج أعمال القتال اللي اتحققت على الأرض. كل الشكر لكم على مشاركتكم في أعمال القتال، وكل الروح أو الأرواح التي زهقت وراحت إلى بارئها، والمصابين اللي أصيبوا أثناء القتال، والدم يجري في عروق المقاتلين ويجري في عروق أهل سيناء، لأنهم احتاجوا لنقل دم أثناء إدارة أعمال القتال من بعضهم البعض. فكان ربنا سبحانه وتعالى الصاحب الفضل الأوحد في النصر وتحقيق هذه المهمة بفضله تعالى علينا جميعا. شكرا لحضرتك.
شكرا سيادة القائد. لطالما كان أبناء سيناء والقوات المسلحة المصرية
always people of Sinai and the armed forces and Egypt and police personnel are all united and all the time cooperating at all the times, even in the development of Sinai. We cooperate with everyone to achieve these targets. As we succeeded in combating terrorism, we will succeed also in achieving development. Now, Mr. General Mohammed Abdel Latif Shusha, Northern Sinai Governor.
كل سنة وانتم طيبين جميعا، واسمحوا لنا باسم أهالي محافظة شمال سيناء
Let us welcome
رئيس الوزراء
Prime Minister Mustafa
ويعني
Madbouly.
دي الزيارة رقم 3 اللي
This is
بيشرفنا
the
فيها
third visit by the
فده
Prime
معناها
Minister.
بيحمل في طياته
This means
إنه معالي دولة
that
رئيس
the Prime
الوزراء
Minister
مهتم بمحافظة
is
شمال
really
سيناء
keen
يمكن
about
أكتر من محافظات
developing
عديدة
Northern
في
Sinai.
الوادي والدلتا ولن أطيل معكم في الكلام ولكن أنا بصفتي محافظ
As the governor of Northern Sinai,
تشتم رائحة
I
صوت
feel
السيد رئيس الجمهورية وهو ينادي
I
حي على التنمية
I
حي على
I can
التنمية
feel
حي على التنمية.
Prime Minister. I can feel the President's calling for us all
مرة
to
أخرى
develop
أعلم
this
تماما
area.
مدى ضيق الوقت وأعتذر عن ذلك وأجتهد في ذلك لإتمام الأمر بالصورة الطيبة. الأستاذ مصطفى بكري طلب الحديث
Mustafa Bakri
أن لا
want
يتم ذلك يعني
to talk to you,
يكون في حدود 3 دقائق.
wants to talk to you. Let him come in.
القلب كانت في حكاية وطن عندما تحدث عن هؤلاء الذين لا يبصرون لهذا الإنجاز الكبير ويظلمون دوما القيادة السياسية التي أخذت على عاتقها مهمة البناء ومهمة التصدي للإرهاب.
Yes.
المرة الثانية
The second time
بها اليوم
the Prime Minister talked today
عندما قال أن هناك
when
مشاعر
he said that there are feelings
وفي نفس الوقت
at the same time Sinai is the most precious land in Egypt. I'm so happy with this meeting. I'm happy that we are all here in Sinai. I'm so happy with Mr. Ibrahim Al-Aryani doing. I know him for 20 years. Sinai is in his heart. It represents, Sinai represents for all Egyptians the secret of life. The President said that Sinai and its borders is a red line. We will not allow Sinai to be another home for Palestinians.
وتوجيهات السيد الرئيس دوما واخر مره اتكلم عن الاعلام وضروره مراعاه ما يجرى على ارض الوطن وفي سيناء بالذات.
I'm talking about the media and the role. Today we launch mega projects here in Sinai. On the top of these projects is
بين مزدوجين فوق العادة لأن هذا المجهود أقل ما يوصف بأنه فوق العادة.
This is unprecedented efforts by the government to achieve these national projects. What we talk about today in Northern Sinai. Let me first explain my happiness, tell you more about the message that we want to confirm. Sinai is part of Egypt. I will not allow, we will not leave 1 meter of its land. What we learn also is that if we want to secure a place, if you want to secure any place, there should be development. There should be also inhabitants who can defend the place against any aggression.
بس بقولها لشبابنا الأوائل، مفيش دولة بالعقل هتكون عندها أو في أي تفكير إن أنا أتخلى عن قطعة أرض من جزء من أرضي لأي حد تاني واستثمر واصرف 610 مليار جنيه وأحط في الخطة بتاعتي اللي هنفذها 400 كمان، يعني هكون بصرف تريليون جنيه.
We already paid trillion pounds to develop Sinai for you to achieve this development. We will let our work prove. You can see the roads that were built. I came to Sinai before 2011. I was in a secret mission and I reached Rafah borders. In 2010, I remember how the roads looked like in 2020. At that time, I was sure that this area really deserves big development process. That is what's taking place now. Now, this place in Egypt, this needs development today. Since 2011, 2013 till now, this piece of land, unfortunately, was a destination for terrorism. I remember the sad days when the day of Al-Roda mosque marchers. I can't forget this day. That's why I'm telling you now. The country is seek to develop Sinai for you and for your sibling, for your children. What I showed today is the result of months of work. This visit was supposed to take place in the first week of October. But I was trying to make this tour to show you our intentions and what we plan to do. For the second time, I want to take this chance to thank people in northern Sinai. As Sheikh Arafat said, we know all what he said. They have always supported us. I want you, Sheikh Arafat, and all tribesmen in Syria to keep this agreement and not to listen to the fourth generation war. There will always be people who are saying that this will not happen. It has another purpose. Don't listen to these rumors. What we are doing, we are implementing everything. We are not talking. The road network, everything we are doing in Sinai is taking place while we are combating terrorism. The President is following up the development process daily. Your role in the coming period is very important. Maintaining the stability of Sinai. I was in an international meeting. I said to the world leaders, there is no country in the whole world who have wars around its borders, all its borders. West, East, and south. We are facing many challenges. We all know that all this aims that this country falls down. Again, I'm saying again, as a country, we will not allow to destabilize this country. If your role now is to believe that this is the message and policy of the country and that the President is working with us day and night on this issue. Development will bring all the welfare to us. The capabilities of this area is to be one of the best places in the whole world. This is our aim. This is what we are going to work on. This is going to be implemented by you and your companies. And thank you.
شكرا جزيلا دولة معالي رئيس مجلس الوزراء على الزيارة وعلى هذا الحديث الطيب. لا يفوتنا طبعا انه احنا